Which is, you probably know about horseshoes used for luck. And today I'm going to share with you the lore of the horseshoe, which was originated not necessarily as a good luck charm. I'm also going to share with you how I prepare my own horseshoe. So if this is something that interests you, stick around because it's coming up right now. Hi witches, blessed be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. I am super excited to share this video with you. I have invested a lot of time looking and researching for you witches, so you guys know what you're doing when we prepare this horseshoe. And I'm going to show you how do I prepare mine. I invite you to help me out. Be with me while I prepare mine. I am super excited to share this with you. I learned a lot of stuff while looking and researching information for you because, you know, it's really good what we understand and we feel what we're doing. We're putting so much energy into what we do when we can visualize the whole past, right? And the whole story that comes with what we're doing. So I'm going to share with you some of the superstitions, some of the theories, and some of the lore and folklore on horseshoes. Were they always being used for luck? You would be surprised, but they were not. So horseshoes were originated as a protective amulet. Nowadays, we use it for good luck, and I'm going to tell you why. Back in the 10th century, there was this guy. His name was Duncan. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing this properly. Some names are hard for me to pronounce, but his name was Duncan, and he was a blacksmith. Duncan, with the time, ended up being a clergyman for the Catholic Church, and he was so important that he ended up being a bishop for the church. It is funny though, because he was also accused of performing witchcraft. But anyways, before he had anything to do with the Catholic Church, he used to be a blacksmith. And one night, he heard these door knocks. And you will not believe me that when he opened the door, he found right in front of his very own eyes, Mr. Devil. There was the devil himself with his horse, and he wanted Duncan to put some shoes in his horse. Duncan, realizing that he was talking to the devil, very calmly obeyed and said, no problem. And for whatever reason that I still don't have clear, but this is how the legend goes, when the devil was not looking, Duncan, instead of putting the horseshoe in the horse, he put it in the devil's hoof. The pain was so excruciating that the devil started yelling and screaming in pain and begging Duncan to please remove the horseshoe out of his hoof. Duncan agreed to do it only on one condition, that from now on, the devil will never enter any house that had a horseshoe nailed into their front door. The devil, desperate to get that horseshoe out of his hoof, say, no problem, I agree, I will never enter any home that has a horseshoe nailed above their door. And that's the story of Duncan. If you go to different parts, at least of the United States, like if you go in the South, the story is going to change a little bit. They named this guy John or Jack, probably John the Conqueror. We don't know. The story is going to change wherever you are in the world. Personally, I think that we're trying to Christianize this whole tradition, which is very pagan. Like, surprise, surprise, right? So let's talk a little bit about the lore of the horseshoe. Where did it came from? If it's not back in the 10th century with Duncan, where did it came from? Well, let me tell you, witches. Just because this is so ancient, it's a little bit hard to pinpoint the true origin of the horseshoe lore and the horseshoe superstitions and the horseshoe as a magical tool. But I can tell you that some scholars have come out with theories that are related to three things. Number one, the shape of the horseshoe. Number two, the metal. And number three, the maker. So let's talk a little bit about those three things. The shape of the horseshoe. So the shape of the horseshoe looks like a crescent moon, right? So throughout history, And hundreds of years, people have venerated the crescent moon. People have venerated the moon altogether in any moon phase. But the crescent moon, until nowadays, there's many countries that have the crescent moon in their flags. Back in the Egyptian times, they used to put a crescent moon on very important Egyptians. So the crescent moon became a symbol of veneration and respect. And it's used in very important places, churches, temples, important people, gods. There's so many deities that are related to the moon. So based on the idea that the horseshoe looks like a crescent moon, people have tend to relate of that power to the horseshoe, right? Because it looks like a crescent moon. Another reason that these scholars think that the horseshoe is so popular is because of the metal. So in the Middle Ages, horseshoes were made out of iron. As a witch, you know, as well as I do, that iron repels fairies, goblins, and all type of ill spirits. Because not all fairies are good witches. Also in Arabic countries, iron repels the jinn. So this is a metal that for many centuries was used for protection. So horseshoes were made out of iron, making them very easy to use after the horse used the horseshoe. They were very easy to collect because they were iron to use as a protection in their homes. So originally, the stories that come about the use of horseshoes were for protection witches. That was the original use attributed to the horseshoe. Beginning in the 1800s, people started using the horseshoe as a good luck amulet. Last, we're going to talk about the makers, the blacksmith. Blacksmiths in that time, for hundreds of years, witches, blacksmiths were considered extremely important people wherever you live. Because think about it, witches, blacksmiths were the ones that would do all the weapons, shields, and many things that people needed to live, to survive. The blacksmith used to forge with their strength and with fire and the heat. All these different shape instruments, either for protection, to defend yourself, to eat, for many things. They were so important, which is that they are actually gods out there that are gods of blacksmith. I'm talking about Vulcan, which is the Roman god of blacksmith, and also Hephaestus, the Greek god of blacksmith. So they were really important. So those are three theories that scholars came. You know, the scholars agree that maybe this is why horseshoe lore is so important still nowadays. They did forget to mention the actual horse, which is maybe nowadays we don't think about it like that. Unless you're a horse person, you don't think much about a horse as being a sacred animal. But in reality, back in that time, you needed to have a horse. You needed to have a horse to travel. You needed to have a horse to help you plow your land so you can eat, so you can have crops. Do you know what I mean? So horses were worshipped. Horses were protected. Horses were venerated. There's many gods as well that pertain to horses. You have, for example, Epona. You have, for example, Rhiannon. There's many deities out there that pertain to horses because horses were part of people's survival. So the power behind the horseshoe may also lie on the spirit of the horse, on the energy of the horse and what the horse used to symbolize back in that time. So we already know that horseshoes are for good luck, right? That we use them nowadays for good luck and protection as well. But there's some other superstitions out there that are linked to the horseshoe, and I'm going to share them with you because I think they're really interesting. Number one, and this is something that I really find interesting, the most powerful horseshoe that you can find and you can get is the horseshoe that belonged to a gray mare and that is coming from her hind feet. Something, or hooves. So it's something that you need to know. If you're a horse person and you have connection with any type of gray mare, consider yourself extra lucky. Another tradition that I found really interesting is that horseshoes are good in your wedding day. So if you want your marriage to last, if you want to have a prosperous marriage, you want to have horseshoes in the day of your wedding. Another one that I also find really interesting, they say is really good for you to sleep with a horseshoe under your pillow on the night of the new year. So if you want to invite a lot of prosperity and luck and good stuff, and then to the new year coming, make sure you sleep with your horseshoe under your pillow on the night of the new year. And last, and this is another one that I found very interesting, in Japan, drivers hang horseshoes or crescent moon amulets in the rear view mirror of their cars to protect themselves from accidents, death, evil spirits, etc. There you go. Horseshoes are very, very popular. So witches, why don't you come with me right now and let's make my horseshoe together. I'm super excited to build this with you, and I'm going to put some things that are very traditional in Espiritismo, and there's some other things that I felt that I need to put in there. This is my own creation. I'm going to give you an idea for you to create your own, because let me show you. Having a horseshoe at home should not just be it. I think this is something that you need to awaken, right? That you need to give your breath of life and create a relationship with your horseshoe. I indeed believe 100% that horseshoes are loaded with energy. I mean, it's too much energy in a horseshoe. And before I continue, which is, this has to be a horseshoe that is being used by a horse. Just getting something that looks like a horseshoe and put it in your... No, it has to be a real horseshoe used by a horse. I'm going to have them in the website if you want to take a look at them, but it's very important that you get a real horseshoe. Let's mingle with that energy, right? Let's put our energy here. Let's interchange our energies together, and actually let's take advantage of all the positive things that this amulet can do for us. So let me show you how I'm going to do mine. Okay, witches. So obviously the first thing that you're going to need is your horseshoe. Please make sure that you have a real horseshoe used by a horse. Okay, discard it because they need to change the shoes, so you have a real horseshoe. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is that when you get these horseshoes, they're going to be completely filled with rust. A great way to remove that rust is by putting the horseshoe in white vinegar overnight, or you can put it in Coca-Cola overnight. I use my metal pad, it's not a green pad, it's the other one, the metal pad, and I put some baking soda on it, and I scrape it and I scrape it until it look a little bit cleaner. It still have some rust, but you know what? I truly love the way she looks, so I'm very happy with the results. The next thing that I'm going to share with you guys that I'm going to be adding to this horseshoe is going to be 3 colors of metal. Now, this metal that I have over here, which is, even though it looks green, this is all copper. Now, witches, let me tell you something about copper, and let me tell you why I love working with copper. Copper is a conductor. So that means this metal is going to conduct the energy from this horseshoe into me. All right, copper is going to be like the arteries of my horseshoe. And another thing that maybe you don't know, and this is something that I found out while I was doing research for this, do you know that iron and copper together makes our blood? So this is so meaningful to me. So I'm going to put some gold copper, I'm going to put some red copper, and I'm going to put some green copper into my horseshoe. Now, another thing that I want to add, and this is a curious fact, copper and iron are 2 of the 7 alchemy metals. So these are the metals that make everything according to alchemy. Also, copper is directly linked with Venus. Do you know that? So there's so much add-on when you put copper into your horseshoe. So I strongly suggest for you to get some copper and put it around your horseshoe. I suggest for you to start using copper as well in your magic, because you may notice some changes in your magic and in the power of your things. Another thing that I'm going to use, witches, is going to be amber oil. So you guys know that amber is a resin. Most people think that amber is just really hard and they use it now as a crystal. But amber, before solidifying like a crystal, is actually a resin and it smells amazing. Amber is going to awaken the power on this horseshoe. So yeah, I'm going to put some amber in my horseshoe as well. Another thing that you're going to need that is really important, which is you're going to need a little glass bottle, because we're going to prepare this bottle as well with a little cork. If you can get a magnet, a very small magnet, you want to get a small magnet. That's what I'm going to put in mine. Some pirate. This is also called fool's gold. Very popular. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to put in mine is going to be lodestones. These are tiny little baby lodestones. Let me see if I can show it to you. These are tiny little baby lodestones. I don't know if the camera is picking this up. Lodestone is for prosperity, it's for abundance, it's for attraction. So I'm going to put some lodestones in there as well. For that, we need to feed this little bottle with some magnetic sand. So if you have some magnetic sand, this is very easy to purchase online. So the magnetic sand that I have is gold. I love this stuff so much. You have no idea how much I use this. And I'm also going to put coral. Coral is used for abundance, for protection, for happiness, for health, for a lot of good stuff. And also I'm going to use jet. So jet is also a black stone, even though it's not a stone, believe it or not. It's not a crystal, it's like solidified wood. So jet. And I'm using this, which is because in my country, when a baby is born, they put a little bracelet in the baby's wrist, and it's a hand, it's a black hand. And I think I've showed it to you in my video on evil eye. And it's called mano de azabache hand. And the azabache hand is made out of coral, and it's also made out of jet that we call azabache. All right, so those are the things that I'm going to put in my horseshoe. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to prepare this. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to anoint this horseshoe with your amber oil. I am so excited to share this with you, witches. I think that this is one of those amulets and those magical tools that can do so much good for us. All right, so now that I have this completely anointed with the amber oil, I'm going to wrap around in the horseshoe the metals. All right, witches, here is my horseshoe wrap around with my copper wire in green, red, and gold. Let's grab now a little bottle that we are going to prepare with the ingredients that we have over here. Let's put this magnet over here. And now these magnets are very easy to find. They're very easy to purchase. You can get these magnets in any craft store. To that, we're going to add some pirate. Pirate looks so beautiful. I think it's so pretty. It's looking like this. To that, I am going to add the jet. Perfect. We're going to put some coral. I love it. Then I am going to add some of this lodestone. All right. The last thing that we're going to put over here, which is going to be some of the gold magnetic sand. And this is going to feed your bottle. So pretty. Now, witches, you're going to close this and be done. Okay. This bottle is going to be intended not only to protect you, but also to call upon, attract, bring about. You have a magnet, you have lodestone, not only health and protection, but also prosperity, money, good luck, all that stuff. Now, which is the last thing that I'm doing over here is gluing the bottle wire into the horseshoe. I don't want that to fall. I also put some green wax in the top and the cork on the bottle. Look at this beauty, witches. Look at what we created together. So one of the biggest dilemma behind doing the horseshoe is which way to hang it. Do we hang it with the legs going up, or do we hang it with the legs going down? So believe it or not, there's also a dilemma about that. And even horse people cannot agree on a specific answer for your question. I'm going to tell you what they say, and then finally I'm going to give you my opinion. People say that if you put your horseshoe with the legs up, like looking like an U, all the good luck is going to gather and collect inside the horseshoe. Now, if to the contrary, there's people that said that if you put it with the two legs looking down, all your good luck is going to spill and is going to go away. There's also the people that says that when you put it with the legs down, then the good luck is going to spill on your home and on whoever passes under that horseshoe. Ultimately, witches, I'm going to tell you what my opinion on this is. I think all this lore came about way after the horseshoe was already being in use for centuries. So if you want to hang it with the two legs up, it's fine. If you want to hang it with the two legs down, it is also fine. The idea is that you charge it and that you empower this amulet with luck. Make sure you awaken the energy in that amulet, enjoy it, and hang it. Obviously, you can put it in front of your door, behind your door. You can put it in front of your window, wherever. You can have 100 in your house. If you want to have one in every single door, that's entirely up to you. You can have one going up and one going down. And also, and last, some people put them one on top of the other, kind of like looking like a circle. Well, like a oval, mostly. But you can put one looking up and one looking down on top of each other. The idea is that this amulet is not only going to bring you a lot of beautiful luck and call upon beautiful things into your life, but it's also going to protect you from seriously evil entities out there. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it brings a lot of beautiful things into your life, and send me some pictures. I would love to see what you came up with. Witches, thank you so very much for being with me in here today again. If this is something that you enjoy, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every week. And remember to visit my social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And if you're interested to getting your own horseshoe, please make sure to visit my website, WhiteRavenandWitchesLair.com. I'm gonna have some horseshoes for you. I'm gonna have some stuff in there that you can check and maybe you can add into your horseshoe. I wish you the best, witches. It makes me so happy to share with you positive things and things that are going to make your life more prosperous, more happy, and filled with more joy. Email me if you have any questions at layerofthewitch@yahoo.com. Remember, I don't work for anybody. Until next time, witches, you must stay so very smart, witches, but above all, you must stay so very wicked. Love you, witches. Bye.